what my eyes dare to see, or the greatness I possess, endless possibilities. Looking in the mirror, what do I see?
Welcome to another segment of Seek Elevation, the Seek Elevation experience with yours truly, Attorney Alakisha. Yes, I am an attorney, but I'm not giving you advice on these shows, on these segments. I am giving you nuggets. I'm giving you diamonds. I'm taking you from holding coal to breaking it open and seeing the diamonds. Not giving you legal advice, but this right here is where real issues, real people, and real conversations take center stage, because change does not happen in silence. And today, for sure, what we're going to talk about, this is part 2. Last Tuesday, I talked about talents to tables, using our talents to, bring us to tables or build tables, opportunity, ownership, equity, just to get the bag, to give me my money. That was last Tuesday. So today we're expanding it, part 2. So I laid a foundation, and we're talking about talent to table, but we want to talk about how to make 6 figures or more, right? Using your talent to create opportunities. And I brought someone on I think is I know is the best to talk about this. Someone who has constantly helped veterans, for sure, make 6 figures, to transition from, coming out of wherever they serve to go into making 6 figures or more, not just in other jobs, that for sure, but also in creating their own business, using their talent to create opportunities to make that 6 figures. So I'm going to introduce him soon. He'll be coming on here shortly. But this is the place right here. I mean, from sports to entertainment to business, community, we elevate voices that need to be heard right here. Whether we're elevating voices from individuals that have that experience themselves and have helped other people, or individuals that are in the midst of experiencing. We're also going to share the stage with those individuals, because we want to make sure we're not just here to talk. We're here to empower. We're here to inspire, and we're here to challenge the status quo. That's what we're here to do. And us, bringing on the right individuals, and sometimes just me. It's just me and you. And I'm giving you that impact. I'm giving you that information for you to take it and to do something with it, not to just have information. We have enough of that going around. I think we all can agree to that, right? We have enough of just information being spewed, but what can we do with it? And more importantly, not only what can we do with the information, but also to just make connections, to connect with the individuals that come on as well. Is definitely important to have relationships. And I have someone coming on in the future that's going to really talk about that, who's doing a phenomenal job with social currency. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, that's what I want this platform to be. So we have people come on and give you their expertise give you their experiences, but more importantly, give you themselves as a resource to connect. So I'm going to bring this phenomenal man on, but I want to do just a brief introduction of Ritchie Thomas before I bring it on. And if you notice, I cut my intro short. I don't need to talk about anything anymore. I want to give all the time to the people that can bring you so much value. And Ritchie Thomas, aka the soldier coach, can do just that. I mean, he is absolutely dedicated to helping transitioning soldiers, like I said, secure high paying jobs or starting their own business. He himself has spent 6 years in the U.S. Army as a sergeant and IT program manager and many, many other things. And as a veteran and a half Ironman competitor, let me say this again, half Ironman competitor, no joke. Already serving is no joke, and we appreciate his service. But when you combine all the things that he have done, he definitely emphasizes and epitomizes the ideal of the power of the mind over any matter. And he always encourages not just, getting to the bag, right? We're talking about how do we get to six figures? How do we use our talent to create or open or build opportunities? He encourages a shift from finances to fulfillment. And that's what we've all been talking about. So the theme has been constantly, constantly going. And what Ritchie does, what he did for himself, what he's constantly still doing for himself, and what he's done for other veterans, this is something that's applicable to all of us. If it can be done there, it can be done anywhere. And that is huge. So yes, I'm expecting. So let me go ahead and bring Ritchie to the table, to the stage. I'm so ready for table. Hello.
Boom. What's going on? How we doing? How we doing?
I am amazing, even more so that you're here. And what I did not tell you all, like Ritchie and I, TEDx talkers, listen, speakers, educators, whatever you want to call it, we hit that TEDx stage and we did it during a time that was very difficult. And this is where we talk about his mind, right? And this is where we're aligned because you already know how my mind is. And those who don't know me, you'll find out quickly. But it was a lot of individuals who were interested. We had to, of course, audition the way TEDx is, but we had to do a video and then we had to go live and things were switched up and we had to be ready to go when it was live. And we were amongst the chosen few for that time. And Ritchie just blew me away with presence, aura, tenacity, just a story, everything. And this is actually the second time. Listen, he's so nice, had to have him twice. This is the second time I have him on. I tell you, I'm telling you to catch the other interview I did with him. It was a while back, maybe a year, 2 years back, but had to have him come on because he just continues to evolve, continues to help. So, stage is yours. You said you good. You feeling well?
Yes, ma'am. How we doing? How we doing?
Listen, I'm thrilled. You'll see me look in different places too, Ritchie. I see you here.
Boom.
I see you right there. I also see you here, but over here too, what I see is Instagram, and I'm trying to see. Yeah.
You just lock in on the audience then.
That's it. So because you're live on different platforms,
Yeah.
I give people a chance to engage, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, or
Totally
Facebook.
understand the landscape that we live in.
That's it. Listen, you got to meet the people where they're at. So there's
Where they are.
no excuses. But also, it's about planting our seeds.
Right.
Everywhere that we need to plant our seeds to harvest and grow. You never know what needs to grow there. All right. So before we even dive into it and you say what you want to say, I want to try something different. I like to start off kind of where I already know where, the minds of our people are. They'll sit and they'll listen to all the questions, all the dialogue, while in their mind, a lot of things are spinning. So let me ask you this front of mind, and then we'll dive deeper. What would you say out of all the individuals that you've worked with, and including yourself, what would you say is one of the biggest obstacles or hurdles, roadblocks to even moving towards that six figures, to use your talent to create opportunities, whether it's being noticed in an opportunity in somebody else's workplace or building your own thing? What is that biggest obstacle? Because it has to be something big. John Hope Bryant said, a little bit of us is even getting six figures. So what would you say is the biggest obstacle?
Um, Probably getting out of your own way. When I was 12 years old, we used to ride a school bus. Sixth grade, was riding a school bus, and while we waiting at the bus stop, we would look at different nice cars that go by, and I would always say, "Well, I want this Benz, or I want that Beamer, or whatever the car." And my whole thing was, well, if they got it, I get it. It was no hand. It was hands down. I figured that out very early in life. If another human being can do it, I can do it. So as I'm looking back here, even I'm 42 years old as of today.
Today's your birthday?
No. I'm just saying, just
Oh,
today as we record this, or
okay.
go live, where people watch
Yes.
3 years, 5 years, 10 years in advance. When I look at other people, it's the same thing. You just got to reverse engineer. If another human being can make 100K or 250 or half a mil, my thing is, I know I can. I just got to reverse engineer whatever their strategy or their blueprint was. My thing was, I've been doing that since I was 10 years old at the bus stop. Waiting on the bus to go to, in Charleston, South Carolina. Like at the bus stop, I've been cyber stalking people as a professional, college, military. Even like today, I'm like, let me reverse engineer how this person hit six figures, seven figures, whatever they were doing. And I'll just reverse engineer and just cyber stalk them to kind of, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's not that hard from that aspect.
I love that. I love that. So we're going to pin that because I already know I have tons of questions from there. But so we already know, because I want to come back to it. So now we put that in front of their mind that it is possible. And one of the ways it's possible is to see in front of you what is possible and to take that and reverse engineer it, meaning look at what they did and go all the way backwards with it, correct?
1,000%.
All right. So starting with that, then, when did you first realize that, you can use your talent? When I use the word talent too, I explained to them from part one, talent, you could transfer that word to skill. It's not just,
Right.
sometimes we use the word talent, we think athleticism for some reason, but it's your talent. It is your genius. It is also whatever you experience and accumulate it can become your talent to apply somewhere else. So when did you first realize your talent could be more than just a skill and you can use that talent as an asset to build ownership?
How blunt can I be on your platform?
Listen, that's why I love, and that's why I have my platform, because I want us to be so real, so transparent, because
Yeah,
that's what people want. They
yeah,
really
no.
want to hear it.
Let me keep it 1,000% transparent. Um, I've hated every job I've ever had. Can I?
No, that's,
Can
and
I?
listen,
Can I just be honest? I've hated every job. I didn't hate my coworkers. Didn't hate my boss or other departments or nonprofit or for profit. What I hated was I hated that I could do more. And I could have been in the C-suite of every job I've ever had, or whether I was an intern or a director or a manager, or it didn't matter where I was on the totem pole. What I hated, I didn't hate the job, didn't hate my coworkers, didn't hate the mission. I hated that I could have done more. And when I look at that now, reverse engineer from wherever I've been, from going back, it's like I could have given so much more. I could have made so much more. I could have brought so much more impact, but I didn't believe in myself at that time. And so that's just literally eating me up from career to financial to emotional to spiritual. Like I didn't really believe in who I was at that level in my life, because most of us live at a level that our pain lives on, and we don't necessarily live on them at a level that our purpose lives on. And so I was one of those people who I just got bit and couldn't shake it off, and it showed up. Our emotions show up in our finances. That's the reality.
so let's go back then, because you said you hated every job that you had because of this thing, which was you could have done more. You hated it because you could have done more, or you could have done more because later you realized you hated it? That's the first question. And then the second is, what did you start? Like, so what does that kind of look like? The jobs that you hated, because you came from something that took
Mhm.
a lot
Yeah.
already. So talk to me.
Yeah.
Explain that. What did you
Yeah.
hate?
I mean, let's be honest. Like, how many people do you interact? How many adults do you interact with on a day to day? 24 people, 50, 100 on the public transportation or at your job, or maybe you work remote. Maybe you work out of Starbucks and we're remote or hybrid. But think about how many adults you interact to. How many of them are honestly like, hey, life is great?
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
How many of them are like, oh man, this is the greatest job, the greatest place I live? And it's like most people are out of alignment with who they're called to become.
Yes. And a
That's
lot of people are put out of alignment because sometimes people are doing what they think they should be doing. And to be honest with you, a lot of times you may have, even it's the younger kids, parents saying, you got to go be the doctor, you got to go be this. And they're doing that because that's what we're told we're supposed to do. And I see I see it all the time, and I'm sure you do, where there's so many people that's burnt out, or they do say, you know what, I spent all these years doing this, using my talent for this, and got nowhere. And now I woke up and I realized I'm using my talent for that. So when did you wake up and you're using your talent differently?
oh, I'm a quick learner. I'm a slow learner, but I'm a quick learner, and I'm trying to tell you. I'm not telling you I've hated every job I've ever had, man. This goes back to when I was 12 years old in like 96, 94. It was like I've never enjoyed the job. So my thing was my talents, and the reason it wasn't that I was lazy. I mean, I am lazy. Let me be honest. However, I also feel like my talents were more than the occupation was willing to promote.
Compensate?
Correct. Compensate and promote. And I
Oh,
always felt like I could do a little bit more, talent wise, skill wise, financially. I mean, I felt like that way since I was like, again, 10, 11, 12 years old. I hated the job. It's like I could do more, but also I do feel like I could make more because let's be honest, everybody watching, you ever work with a boss and you just be like, I know the sucker ain't making more money than me. like, like,
right.
come on, man. I don't care about your degrees, your certifications, where you went to school. Like, we've all worked with some educated idiots.
Yeah. No,
Like,
but that's in every industry too, right?
it's
So not just work.
every industry. It has
E-
nothing to speak on it.
You're right. Absolutely. Every industry, right? So sometimes you feel like I have this talent, but someone that's over me or dictating this, or that's actually making more or taking from what I'm actually bringing to the table, is someone I know more than, or was not tapped in really into this situation or this culture or whatever it may be. It's always the ones who don't really know. So that means early on you realized that you felt that your talent was being used for other gains instead of your own.
Since I was like 10, I just didn't know
Since
how
you
to
was 10.
communicate that. I
Huh?
didn't. I didn't know how to communicate that.
And so when did you start the pivot? Because I know you got a lot of things going on now where you now built tables and you're helping other people build tables
Yeah,
and all that good stuff to get
yeah.
to the bag. So
Like
from
when
10 until when did you say enough is enough? Was
enough
that
was enough number was 37. So 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I started honestly. I'm gonna build my own table, and you can talk all you want and hype and motivational, but my thing is time, money, and effort. So I put money down. I started going to conferences, buying tickets, paying for coaching, paying for consultants, for paying for people, and I would say paying, but let's be real. I reverse engineer. I was investing.
exact? I was just about to say that.
I didn't know that word. And I didn't know why I was trying to spend so much to get close to a guy named Tony Robbins or Les Brown or Gary Vee. I didn't understand why I was investing in coaching that was backed by Jim Rohn. And so investing like I'm all in, 37, age 37. When did I feel like I knew my skill set was different? When I was 11.
Yes.
So from 11 to 37, You know what I'm saying? That's a 26-year difference of when I was just like, man, I'm in the sunken place.
But you know what I like about the sunken place? Because I think a lot of us, I'm happy you said that because it hits home to a lot of us, right? Sometimes we'll sit and we'll do the age thing. We'll be like, man, I'm this age now. I wasted all these years. And sometimes if we look at some people that may appear to have accomplished more, they're younger and they did this. What if I would have just made a different choice? Would I have been this far or done that? But when I look at it too, in that sunken place, there's so much being learned in that sunken place. There's so much being that's developing the characteristics in us that when we do hit the ground running, we hit it so hard. I've seen so many stories where you may have someone who did something for 25 years and they're doing XYZ. All of a sudden, someone hit it where they deemed late, hit it right here, and they skyrocketed. It may have seemed like success overnight, but it was an overnight of 20 years of the sunken place.
Right.
That all of a sudden they hit right here and it started skyrocketing and you surpassed the people and the things that you were comparing yourself to. So I learned to embrace that space of, man, I wasn't making the right decisions and I didn't learn a lot during that time. During the time I didn't, but in hindsight I did. And it has made me so potent and so powerful, you know, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go back. You realize, boom, I have to invest in myself. And I love that you learned that word. I tell people that, especially like when they buy legal service from me. Oh man, legal, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to support you. I want this. I appreciate that. But what you're doing is you're investing in yourself. Anytime you pay someone to get to that next level or to get whatever you're trying to get, it's an investment in yourself. So that, I guess you answered my question number one right there. When you realize you have a talent, in order to build your table, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest to get that wood, to build that strong table. And right?
Yeah.
We have to invest in that. And sometimes we make excuses to excuse ourselves out of doing that.
No.
What made you decide, Ritchie?
Mm-hmm. No, I'll say,
got this talent. Let's do it. We're going to invest in myself. We're going to do this. What made that light come on? What made you say, I'm going to bite that bullet? Because you spent a lot of money.
Yeah. And in full disclosure, I like to be transparent. This is not AI. This is me. This is real. I spent over $100,000 in my brand. To everybody listening, watching, I've invested. This is not a joke. This is not for the camera. This is not for Instagram. This is me being 1,000% transparent. I've invested over $100,000 into my brand. Probably by end of 2025, I'll probably have invested over $150,000. Marketing, branding, business coaches, consultants, platforms, my digital stack, my email sequence, clothing, physically going to conferences. Hopefully y'all are watching this on an ad. See how I do that? Digital ads. And the reason I believe in that, to answer the question, you think about your dream house, everybody's got one. You think about your dream car, everybody's got one. Full disclosure, I would want a Maybach S550. They're about $115K. I want a peanut butter seat with a panoramic roof, cream on the outside. Okay, I'm from the South. Think about this: the dream house, the dream car, you can get them, but they require a down payment. Fair?
Fair.
So my S550 Maybach with the panoramic roof, it's got a down payment. And it also has what every contract has is called terms and conditions. And the terms and conditions are financial and also from a time. So that car, it might be $100,000. Maybe I am greedy, okay? But to get that 100K, I got to be willing to put a down payment, okay? And then there's terms and conditions, financial and time. So I got to pay the other 95K over 100 months, five years, right? Ditto with the house, dream car. Both require terms and conditions. Check this out, everybody listening, everybody watching. You also have terms and conditions for your dream. And so when I think about MTUs, what I've started is Military Transition University. I've invested over $100,000, not a joke, like liquid cash into my brand or into my business, but really into what I feel is my dream. I feel like this is what I was put on here to do. Miss Elakeisha O'Kelly, how much have you invested in your formal education to become an
Listen,
Esquire?
yes, that is, and that's the point I want to make, right? We invest in those things where we're told to do this, and it will guarantee that. Education's one, right? And education doesn't guarantee anything. It's what you
Tears.
do with that education that can guarantee it. It's what you do while you're in school. One thing I learned, it took me from undergrad. Undergrad, I was strictly focused. I wanted to hit those grades. I had to, do all the things, make sure I'm an athlete and go high and do all this because I told if you do all that, this will be guaranteed, right? The American ideology. And then it wasn't until grad school that I learned, yeah, you go in, you rock the stuff that you need to rock, you understand it, but you need to be building relationships while you're in there. You need to be utilizing that you are a student to get into doors that normally wouldn't be open if you weren't a student. It was more about strategy than it was about doing XYZ. And so, yes, invested in myself school wise. And like you just said, we decide we can invest in a nice car, we can invest in this nice home, the things that we have to keep trying to find ways to pour money out, or we can invest in ourselves, which becomes this unlimited pool of a resource that can buy all of those things later. So one thing we need to realize, what I'm hearing you say, coach, is to go from talent to tables, building it or creating opportunities is one, recognizing you have a talent and then nurturing that talent by investing in yourself. Stop saying, I can't do this or I can't do that. Find a way to invest in yourself with those individuals or people. That's what I'm hearing you say, correct? And so now you elevate that talent.
1,000%. Like
Okay.
it's not that complicated. You look
It's
at
not that complicated.
you look at Steph Curry, you look at Venus, you look at Mark Zuckerberg, love him, hate him, even Elon, love him, hate him. I mean, you look at how much time they put into their craft, but also you look at who they surround themselves by, coaching wise. The best coaches, the best consultants, the best frameworks. They invest time, money, resources into this next version, and that's all this is. I mean, if we rewind the clock, everybody, where were y'all before COVID? I think, and
Yeah.
we all remember the day we heard COVID and stay at home for the next 2-3 years. Like this been 5-6 years, and just think about how we've all grown and as professionally, personally. I mean, it's no different going for the next 5 years. There's always going to be every level of your life requires a different version of you.
I literally just posted that on something too. And it's true. It's not cliche.
Right.
It's true. So if we know every level requires a new version, then we have to reverse engineer that, like you just said. In order to get on a new level, you have to be a new version, right? So now it's easy opposite way. So when we think about how can I use this talent, there's a lot of talent out there. Sometimes we're saturated in certain areas. I feel like we're saturated in certain areas with talent. But the one thing I learned for sure is it's never crowded at the top. Never. It doesn't matter what you say is saturated here or saturated there, but it's not crowded at the top. We're saturated, but everyone keeps dropping off
Mm-hmm.
depending on the levels because they stop. It's okay, I'm talented. Okay, I'm talented, super saturated. I'm talented and disciplined. Okay, now it's dropping off. I'm talented and I'm investing. Now it's dropping off. So it's what you do with that talent that creates those opportunities and open those doors. So what are some ways that you can tell viewers and listeners that, they can start analyzing their talents for new opportunities? Because what did you look at? We're talking kind of blanket
Yeah, yeah,
that you had this talent, but what are the talents that you used
yeah.
and honed to open these new opportunities for you to build and to own and to help other people own?
Yeah, I felt like I got a PhD in body language. So my thing was always watching other people who were winning at a level that I wasn't. And so think about everybody watching the CEO, the CFO, the COO that you've worked with over the last 10 years. And like ask yourself honestly, why weren't you in the C suite? Like why weren't you the chief marketing officer or the chief HR officer or the CEO or CFO. And my thing was like, I just was a student of the stage, a student of business, student of the C-suite. I'm like, why y'all really making more money than me? And then it was just kind of like doubling down, like, is their 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week better than my 8 hours or my 40 hours or my 168 hours? And I just looked, I really just reverse engineered how much money I was losing. That's the funniest part.
Wait, say that again. So what you mean by how much money you were losing?
Think
Meaning,
about if the job, everybody listening and watching, you make a certain dollar amount today, right? There's somebody right now for the job, the company you work for, that's probably in the C-suite that makes, put a 2 in front of your salary. They make the same thing in the same industry, but they probably make double what you make. My thing was, what really separates them from you? Y'all probably have the same education and the same certification. Okay, maybe they have a little bit more. Could you get that, recoup that in the next 18 months? I just started watching people in the C-suite. I started cyber stalking them, like really understanding how they see themselves, sell themselves, and brand themselves to the marketplace. And I was like, I'm in IT. So I was always like the help desk guy versus seeing myself as somebody who was in the C-suite. So when you start reverse engineering people who are not just the next job up, but I was always looking at folks who were like 2 tax brackets away from me. And then you start reverse engineering down. And everybody listening, y'all have got the opportunity to be on this thing called Chat GPT. Don't get me started. I don't know how much time I have. The fact that Chat GPT can give you not 1, not 10, but 100 different people who are in that job that you want to be in, but it can give you and play career strategists and reverse engineer what exactly you need to do to get to that level, which is insane to me because it's free career advice on how to make $1 million, how to make $500,000, how to make $250,000. And it's all right there and it's public access and it's free. I probably spent 50 hours on Chat GPT in the last 3 weekends. 50. Because I'm trying to study how to be a 7, dare I say publicly, an 8-figure speaker.
yeah.
I'm looking at people who's making 9 figures and I'm like, what are they doing that I'm not? Software distribution, global software distribution. Like I'm constantly trying to, in a state of leveling up financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And y'all got too many tools. I'm including myself in this, we have too many tools not to hit 2 or 3 tiers up. Just ask Chat GPT. That's not even being sarcastic. It's one of the greatest things that's ever been created, man or woman. Artificial intelligence, AI. It's insane.
So you just touched on it though. So that's what I was asking. Once you learned that, once you reverse engineer, once you recognize talent, what did you convert that into? You just mentioned one thing.
Yeah.
Speaking.
How much time do I have? I mean,
go ahead. No, because I want us to. One thing I want us to point out is sometimes we don't realize
what you have. Yeah.
Exactly. We don't realize, and what did it take for you to do that? We don't realize. Oh, we have this because what I talked about in part 1 was there's a lot of people sitting on. Wait a minute. I may work for corporate or this job and I did admin or I'm doing IT or I'm doing computer and didn't realize this is a skill that I have that I can negotiate with startups to build equity. That I'm at this corporate job getting paid a salary, but I just realized I have this skill, this talent that I could bring in, build my table and not get a salary, but get ownership or get equity. But what were some of the talents you realized you honed out of everything you did? You said speaking.
Mm-hmm. Speaking and coaching were 1 and 2. Like they go together, like ketchup and mustard. But also, I was in IT for 25 years. And so we live obviously in a world of technology, people listening, watching on a laptop or iPhone right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, Samsung, if you want to be difficult. But we live in a technology world.
Hey, wait. Hold up. I have both though. I have My
Not by
Samsung
choice.
Galaxy
Not by
Ultra
choice.
S25, but I do have my iPhone. And I will say this. I love let me get closer. I love my Android way better than my iPhone.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
No,
But you got the iPhone because
I got the iPhone because most of my clients. So, and this is what we have to learn with our talents too. Like one of my talents is to be excellent. So I know that I have to pay attention and read the room. If majority of my clients is Apple cults, no, I'm kidding. But if they're Apple, then I have to do the things I need to do to make sure that that relationship, that communication is absolutely seamless. So I have to get that, and I had to learn, and in order for me to excel. But then I have my Samsung Galaxy when I just want to relax and it be personal and do the things, and I don't want to, stress about anything.
and that's who you really are. I got a degree in IT. I could not figure out for the life of me how to send a text on a Samsung phone.
Really?
And what I'm saying is, one, I may be a little whatever, but I didn't find it super user friendly. They always say it's a left brain, right brain thing. So, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, because my thing with an iPhone is I can give it to my grandma who may be watching this. Hello, grandmother, who's 80, every bit of 84, 85. And it's like, I didn't have to explain the iPhone to her. I didn't have to explain the iPad to her. So whether you're 84, 85, or whether you're 4 or 5, I feel like Apple does a great job of like their stuff is super user friendly. And then people who are Android are diehard. They love it or hate it. There is no in between. And so there's that.
And listeners, please chime in on that one. We ain't gonna digress, but what do y'all think about that? But this is a good point. This segues into that. You have to be diehard and sold on whatever it is that you believe that your talent is.
Boom.
You have to be diehard on it, because someone else may see it totally different, whatever your talent is. You have to be so locked in, so devoted, so culted on your talent that it allows you to see how that talent can be sliced up in so many different ways and how it can open up so many different doors. What are some of the ways that you help these vets hit that 6-figure and to transition, either to find an opportunity somewhere else or to help build tables? Because one of the hardest things, if we're talking about hard times and hard things right now, we got to talk about the situation with the vets that's going on. There's a lot. There's a lot. So you got some work continue to be cut out for you.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you give them in order to flip using their talent to say, hey, I'm gonna have a conversation with an employer to tell you why I'm different, or hey, I'm gonna use this talent to build this business? What are some of the tips or the nuggets that you give them?
I think the number one nugget I do, vets or spouses, or even a lot of my corporate folks, who everybody I know is corporate trying to escape the 9 to 5. Everybody I know hate their job, okay? And so what I do is I hold up the mirror and say, let's look at your bank account right now. You pull up your iPhone, your Android, your Google Pixel, right? And you pull up Bank of America. You tell me how much money's in your bank account. Do you like it, love it, hate it? Is it your real number? Is it your dream number? Is it your double deuce of your dream number? And it's like you got to become accountable for like the money that's in your bank account. I do that every day. I'm like, this is my number. This is my education number. It's my experience number. It's my certification number. This is a reflection of how I've marketed myself. That's the money in your bank account right now is a direct reflection of that. So for vets, what I do is I hold up the mirror, and I really, sometimes I got to shake them by the shoulders. Most of my personal clients are doctors and executive MBAs, and they got every degree that I don't have. And I got to hold up the mirror. I said, I'm not impressed with your degree. Let's hold up the mirror. Your number in your bank account right now is a direct reflection of how the market sees you. You can be the best brick mason, electrician, plumber, attorney, HR, IT director, but the number in your bank account is the number in your bank account because you've said to the marketplace, this is who you are. I'm worth 150 a year, 250, 2.5, 5.5, like whatever your number is. The market believes who you're telling them professionally. So what are we doing to change that? That's my
That
job as a
that was
coach.
gonna be my question. So what do they do with that though, right?
Right.
So now that they learned that, what do they do with that in order to excel on those six figures or higher or becoming that owner? Because some when you ask some of those the question, it may be, well, obviously it had to be because you help some start businesses. It may be, wow, okay, I'm not happy with this. And this is not, I need to change my standard. So now they created the situation where they excel. But what happens with when you hold that mirror up? What's next? Like, what happens? What do they
Own-
say? Okay, I see that, Richie. Like, what does that
Every,
mean?
everybody's got to own your number. Y'all all know, everybody listening, watching, you know exactly how much you were last time you jump on a scale. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to, you can lie to me, but don't lie to yourself, right? We all had to jump on a scale number. My number is my number. I weigh how much I weigh. You earn how much you earn. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not great. Your number is your number. And the last time you check your bank account, you know, and I know, and God know, right? How much money was in your bank account. So let's not lie. And it's the same thing with weight, money, finances, whatever. But that is what it is. So my thing is, whether you are enjoy it, love it, you got to own it. And so my thing is also, now we have tools like Chat GPT and AI. Right? You can put your bank account, your resume, and your LinkedIn, and say, "Hey, Chat GPT, I want to double my number. I want to triple it. I want to quadruple it. I want to make $1 million in my industry." You now have artificial intelligence that can create you a strategy to get there from your career, LinkedIn, and everything based off who you are. So my thing is, what is the excuse now?
So the Chat GPT can give you the strategy, but then the
No
chat,
guesswork.
yeah, then once you get that strategy from Chat GPT, you have to plug in those
You got to do the work.
the work, but you also have to plug in that human capital to deliver on those things. Like for instance, you just said you invested
Mhm.
100,000. That wasn't into Chat GPT. Chat GPT can say you need boom, 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 boom. But then Richie realized, okay, I need that, and this is how I go get it. And it's with the the human capital and those skills, invest in those things to give you not just the knowledge, but to put you in those rooms, build relationships, but dare I to say, to go in those rooms and realize even there, remember you said in your job, you was looking at these, people in the C-suite. Like, I know more than them. I know just, well, when you invest and you keep getting in these rooms with other people, you start to dismantle the limiting belief you have about yourself. Because now you got in these upper rooms where you realize my talent is just as good. There's nothing different with these individuals, so I'm gonna kill it. But Tranisha asks, what is the recipe or strategy for pivoting your self-marketing? And that's one of the things you did just bring up because you just said ad plug. What is how do you do that? If you're building these tables, you have talent,
Yeah.
we can have that, but what is the recipe or strategy for, pivoting how you self-market?
Yeah, no, think about everybody watching and listening. I don't care what lane you are, HR, IT, corporate finance, entrepreneur, maybe you want to be in the league, I don't care. But anybody who's in the top 10%, do they have a book? Check the box. Do they have a podcast? Check the box. Do they have a radio show? Radio is still a thing, by the way. Do they have a TV show? How big is the social media following across the board? Are you at the biggest conferences that you are? Do they sponsor some of the biggest events in your industry? Um, if you go to Barnes and Noble and you went to your section in your niche, your industry, would they have a book there? And so the reality is, you got to pivot your self marketing based on the top 10% of your industry. And for me, what I realized is anybody I wanted to emulate, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Dr. Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, they all were authors, books, TV, podcast, radio, YouTube channels, social media. They are all in the top 10% of marketing. They all outmarketed the other people. I've seen some speakers who are incredible, but the marketing is trash. I've seen some people, most of the marketers I know, they're usually in the top 10% of marketing, and maybe their business is trash. But if they can outmarket the other people, i.e., self promote better than anybody else, I promise you that it's going to put you in the top 25%
Listen,
of landscape, painting, mixed martial arts studio. You outmarket anybody else, game over.
but that I love what you said. We're gonna slow down on this, Richard. Like, no, listen. No, you just gave it.
Yeah.
Because this is what I do. To know how to pivot or just even know how to self-market, focus on what it is that you're actually doing. It doesn't matter what industry arena, focus on what you're doing. Find those top people and see what they're doing. Remember I said it's crowded at the bottom, but it's a lot of room at the top? Well, see what the ones with a lot of room at the top are doing. You do that in your unique way and excel in that. So if I am into speaking, I'm going to look at what are the top 10% doing? Okay, then let me get these things. And then also tap into what else is different and how can you, be very unique in those things you do. But that's why I wanted to slow that down. That was really good. It is not the guesswork on studying that.
Yeah.
Block out the noise. The noise is the 90%. Go to the 10% and study them. So say if you're writing or you're going to be in a health arena and you're doing the holistic stuff, find those top 10% people of what they doing. Do they got a book, holistic book? Do they have this? Do they have that? Whatever it is, if you're an entertainer, what are those ones that are doing on a level you're doing it at? Do those things and then some. That was good, Richie. That was an easy answer. Like, forget chat. You know when they chat GPT? You literally just go study and you list those people. And that is something that I agree with you, obviously concur, because I'm doing that. Everything that I do, I put myself in those places where the top is at. And that's how also I'm being exposed and no more in the jargon, no more how to move, no more of what I need to do, don't need to do.
No.
That is, no, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So what are some overlooked ways, which I think you kind of answered even with that. Yeah. But what are some overlooked ways that people can also just create, equity or more money? Because you said you hold people and you shake them. Do you like what you have? And some people might say, no, Richie, I don't like what I have, but what do I need to do? Some may not can leave their jobs either, right? But they can use their talent to do whatever. So what do you think are some overlooked ways that people can create, equity or extra finances or whatever the case is with what they already have and the challenges that may come with that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody listening, watching, the one thing I would dare you, I triple dog dare you. Do you own a website? Yes, no, maybe so. The government can't take that. Republicans can't take it. The evil Democrats can't take it. Do you own your own website? So you're listening right now, your name is John Doe, you should have johndoe.com. If you're Jane Doe, you should have janedoe.com. We're all watching, listening on a social media. Nothing wrong with that. But we don't own these platforms. Do you own your own website? So the best thing for equity, we eat, sleep, and breathe in the digital landscape. So if you can't fight the market, you got to meet them where they are. So you should, wink, wink, you should own the website. So right off the bat, you should have a website with your name, face, image, and likeness on it. I don't know what I would put on the website. What have you been doing the last 5-10 years? If you're in HR, you should have a website. Your LinkedIn is your digital resume. So you should have a website just in case your LinkedIn gets canceled. You should have a website based off your professional skill set. Let's not make this too hard, folks. You should have a website with your name, face, image, and likeness with your skill sets on it. It's just an extension of your resume. And so if y'all don't own your own website, you're already behind.
That's the first table.
Boom.
And we're talking about building the table, right? So having that website and then going back to Tranisha's question, knowing the things to filter people to that website.
Boom.
Because again, I'm going to keep reiterating this. Even if you're working for someone else, Even if that's the thing, you have that talent that someone else wants that you can still use for yourself to build equity. So you have to showcase that separately. But more importantly, what Ritchie is saying that I'm hearing him say is you have to showcase that on your own table. Because I have seen plenty of times, especially when we talk about name, image, and likeness, right? I've seen plenty of times where someone probably said the wrong thing to whoever they think, or someone complained about something. All that got stripped away. And they were sweating because all of their extra money, equity, finance, whatever, was tied into that platform that they didn't know to own, that they poured everything on. That wasn't their table, yet it was their property, their intellectual property. So having that website and then understanding how to push people to that website. So I like that you said that, not just posting videos on social media platforms to get people's attention, but also have it on your own website, like what I do here. This is real estate. I'm on YouTube. I may be on YouTube, but I keep all of my videos. I keep the hard copy of everything. I have videos on my website that pushes to here. But if something ever was to happen with this, I can post and upload all of my stuff to my real estate. That's what all of this is. That's my land. My website is my land.
A
So I love
hardcore attorney.
You said what?
I said a hardcore attorney.
Listen, because and you know why? Because to the point of our question our conversation in the beginning, that's just one of my talents. I have a whole tree, and then you look at different branches, and one of them is being an attorney. But that tree is about empowerment, enlightenment, educating, and then all the other branches come out. So I got to make sure I am hardcore, and I make sure I get in those rooms and invest in myself with diverse people. I'm not just around those attorneys at all. At all. I don't know if you know Ashley. I can't think of her last name. I just joined her group, the Speak Your Way to Cash. That was a huge investment. But I joined that because that's one, she's an attorney. She gets the different ways. You can't lock yourself into any title. You have to just see your talent in that title.
Boom.
So
I caught that.
You caught that. And lay up with it. Right now, though, building ownership has gotten tough. But I know, listen, you are a sergeant. So you're going to keep saying, no, it is not as hard as you ask these questions. I'm not going to make it. So during these moments, right, when building ownership is tough, we see a lot of things changing. A lot of things are changing. While I think I just came across my news feed today about even like student loan debt. They're going to start collecting on that May 5th while people are trying to figure out finances, why groceries are going up, why this, and especially when you talk about entrepreneurship. But during this moment, like, what are some internal tools or strategies, Sarge, that you can lean on to keep pushing forward, like to keep pushing instead of settling for the easy win? And the easy win is what, Elakisha? The easy win would be, I'm just going to have to hate this job because at least I have something coming in. I'm just going to have to lower my standard. I don't want to look in that mirror, or I may look in that mirror. It doesn't matter because I have something coming in. So what are some internal tools or strategies to lean on to push right now?
Girl, I don't know why you asking me. I'm out here surviving too.
I got you. I got Sergeant. The Sergeant always has. Listen.
I don't have the answer for you. Ask ChatGPT. No.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny to make. No, someone should type that in and say, ChatGPT, during the moments when building ownership has gotten tough, what are some internal tools and strategies can I use and share them on here?
So, but no, I mean, jokes aside, my thing is, and you said it, but I always tell clients privately this. There's 4 numbers we need to take in consideration. You have your real number. I would, again, encourage anybody listening or watching to this to write this down. There's a homework assignment. Write down 4 numbers. Your real number. How much money did you actually produce last year? Like real, net, gross, I don't care, one and the same. Okay? So you cut hair, cut grass, paint, wax on the fence, same time. You're an attorney, HR, I don't care. Write down how much money you actually earned. So your real number. The second number you want to write down is your dream number. All right. How much money you dream about. My number for a long time was 275. Fellas, y'all hear me out. You earn 275 a year. Your wife is not complaining. I promise you. Right. So that my dream number, 275. The third number is, I would like to call it, I forgot to carry the one number. And somebody says, well, Ritchie, what is that? I forgot to carry the one. I was always bad at math. So your dream number was actually supposed to be the number you can earn in a month. So take your dream number and multiply it times 12. All right. If you have a real number, how much money you actually produced. You have a dream number, how much money you dream about. And the third number is, you call it, I forgot to carry the one, but it's just your dream number times 12. How to dream bigger. Okay. And then the fourth number, my favorite number, I got one more. It's a fear number. FEAR, a fear number. Okay. So recap, you got a fear number, a real number. 2, you have a dream number. 3, you have I forgot to carry the one number. And the fourth number is a fear number, FEAR, a fear number. And the fear number is very simple. Your fear number is, we take your dream number in step 2, and we subtract your real number. Okay? Take your dream number and subtract the real number. How much money did you honestly earn? That number left over, folks, is your fear number. That's how much money you've lost because of fear, doubt, low self-esteem, double second guessing the coach, double guessing the consultant, double guessing the infrastructure, quit second guessing gurus and coaches and people who have a proven track record who could really build you out to that next version, next level of your life. I had the opportunity to go be coached by one of the number one speakers in the world, top 5 speaker. It was $3,000, Miss Alakisha.
Right.
It was $3,000.
Yeah.
I was physically shaken.
Yeah.
When I signed up, because that $3,000 sounded like 300, and I was like, man, I'm so grateful to him because now I know how to earn $3 million. But don't tell nobody that.
That's it. That's what they're all doing, right? I'm gonna go back to, but before I even say that, wait, I just want to make sure I reiterate. These 4 numbers are what? This is for people to use for what? When you gave the real number, dream number, I forgot to carry the one, and fair number. This is for what?
This is my collectively what I tell clients. The original question you asked. People want to level up and they need to take accountability and they want to argue. I don't argue. I don't fight. I don't argue. I just hold up your numbers. This is how much your real number was. This is how much money you dream about. This really how much money you could really earn. And this is your fear number is really what I call you've been BSing number.
Oh, okay. So this is, go back to the question I asked. Now, this is how people can analyze themselves.
Boom.
All right. So
Boom.
you can analyze yourself and we'll see where you're at versus where you want to be. And so once they figure that out, then the in between is now to go from 4 between 1, 2, 3, 4 is the difference between investing in yourself, is the difference between realizing the multiple talents that you do have and how you need to market those talents. And how you need to market those talents is looking at specifically what you do in those different talents and identifying the top 10% to see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And you go do yours. First of all, too, I want to bring up for people who may be listening, especially when I say look at the top 10% or look at this. When I look at people, don't go mimic, right? Don't go, just because we're not reinventing the wheel, you don't have to go spin someone else's same wheel. You just see how a wheel is built and you go get even better, material to do that. So I think a lot of times we have in a lot of these industries and one of the reasons people are stuck, Ritchie, is because they block themselves of their talent by trying to mimic and do exactly what someone else is doing in their talent. So it's shut down there. So you learn from those individuals. You get the things. Now you take those things and do it your way.
Yeah.
There was a question. Let me take this down. Go back to Tranisha's question. I don't think I may have skipped that. Did I? After identifying your number, hold on real quick. After identifying your number, how do you approach setting tangible milestones to attaining your target?
If you ever like really like reverse engineer, just most of what I've done is just reverse
That is
engineer.
your thing. Yeah. I want to say that's your thing. You
Hey,
gotta get a t-shirt.
I'm self-discovering right now, right? So if you just reverse engineer every company you've ever worked with, every business you work with, it's the same thing. They'll have an annual goal, reverse engineer it by quarters. Take this number, we want to make $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, and then reverse engineer it. So quarterly, you should be earning 25 million or 250K, whatever that number is. It's the same thing. We just reverse engineer it by fours, which is just a
Yeah.
breakdown of 90 days. So it's like we just reverse engineering what is attainable in the next 3 months. And it's no different. It's my whole theory with clients one on one, or if it's a workshop or whatever. Dude, don't stop overthinking this. It's just reverse engineer what you want. What can you do in the next 90 days? And who is the smartest 3 to 5 people, coaches, consultants, or teammates you can surround yourself with to help you get that number? Everybody's got a price. They'll help you. You can buy a teammate or you can buy a coach for the next 90 days. That's really where we are.
No,
So,
I like how you said this because once you identify your number, you put the big thing down, right?
boom.
So you relate to the military, I relate to sports. So it's the same thing. I apply transferable knowledge and skills. When I train, I look at what I want to accomplish, but then I have to go all the way backwards to get to that thing, break it down and dissect it to get to that thing that I want to accomplish. So you have that number. Now, this also helps you to not waste time, energy, or effort because you may say, I need 10 of these this month, whether it's 10 clients, producing 10 widgets, whatever it is, at this rate to do this. And those months are here. And you could break it down to however it is to make it attainable. It may be, for me, I want to start this way this month, but then I know I have to up it this month because all the numbers, the math have to still math. So you just look at the big number and then you break it down and know exactly what you need to do, how much you need to do. So you're not wasting time. You're not negotiating prices, rates, none of that. All you're discussing is value. This is how I look at it. This is Alakisha talking, right? I talk about value add. I don't talk about my rates. You either understand and accept and hear the value add, and then you say, I want the value add. I'm gonna pay this price. So once you know your once you know your value add, that's what you have a conversation about. You know this ain't moving because it's a part of your bigger number.
Let me ask. I gotta ask because I hate that word, but it's real.
Yes.
Explain value like I'm 5 years old.
Yes. Okay. Value is adding something to you that you do not have, that you absolutely need to get where you absolutely want to go. And I can add that. You don't have it. If you go to somebody else, they may give you a service, but they're not adding value. They gave you a service. You got this experience with the service, but you didn't get what you absolutely need, that you absolutely don't have to get absolutely where you need to go. Me, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to add that to you in order for you to get what you're asking for and then some. Because without it, you're losing.
For everybody watching, you remember Jumanji, Robin Williams?
I do.
I was lost, and they was lost in the jungle, and then Robin
Yes.
Williams showed up. Robin Williams is value. He's like a map navigator who can get you lost to found to the homeland.
That's it.
How much money would you be willing to invest on the expert?
That's it. And without that, you will stay absolutely lost. You may have someone who shows up. They gave you that service. You have the service of having another human present, but they didn't add value to you because now it's just you and another human lost. It didn't give you absolutely what you need for what you don't have to get absolutely where you need to go. You need to get out of the woods or wherever the jungle, wherever you was lost. I absolutely need to do that. So I need you to come here and add that value to me that I don't have. I don't just need another person. I don't just need another service. I don't just need another talk. I needed to change my situation. And that's what I talk to people about. So I said, if you want that, or you can go somewhere else where it sounds great. And then you may come back to me anyway. But that's what value add is to me. So hopefully, Tanisha, that answered your question for identifying the number. And then milestone, let me take this down. The milestone, and that is, and I like the stuff that you're saying, Ritchie, because I absolutely do the same as well. And we're kind of wrapping up too. And I love that you're engaged, and thank you so much, because you could ask questions that I don't even think to ask. And if there's any questions that you all have, if I didn't ask them, if Ritchie didn't touch it, and you want to lay it on the table, please put it out there, because that's the beauty of the lives. I like the lives. The recorded podcast is great for people to listen. They can even comment later, because this is real estate and it continues to have life. But when you live, ask those things. If you feel like you didn't get an answer to something, or you want to push, or whatever it is, please do. All right. Okay. So you might have hit all the things that I really want to talk. Okay. No, I do have one. For our listener and viewers, when we're talking about, partnering, because I know there's some things that you got going on, and you may look for certain things when you're partnering. What are some things that our listener and viewers should think about when they want to partner talent? Of course, this is not my show, but I could have a whole list, but I'm holding me, because this is not me. This is Ritchie's show, because there's a lot of things I would tell you you need to think about when you think about partnering. But like to somebody with you who has been in those rooms, and you hear different things, and you're also doing different things for other people. What are some things that people should think about to leverage?
Yeah, I'm not even being sarcastic when I say this, but I always tell people, let's double check with AI. Chat GPT. That's a joke, but it's serious. But the thing is,
now.
No, hey, serious. But I always balance out my weaknesses. So my thing is, I'm looking at my next 2 to 3 hires, 5 hires, 10 hires. They got to be polar opposite of who I am. I am the king of procrastination. I could procrastinate so good. I'm gonna teach a class on it one day. And so, but I need to balance out people who can, again, strengthen my weaknesses, and vice versa. So you think about the greatest basketball team, football team, track and field team, like everybody's got a different strength, and I can't be everywhere, and vice versa. So when you think about the people you want on your team, it's like, dude, you got to balance out people who are going to be a yin and to your yang, and vice versa, negative to your positive, or whatever. And so whatever that may look like. So, I'm a night owl. I procrastinate. I really don't get going till like 11, 10:30. That's kind of, I'm a late bloomer on the day. And so it's like, my first hire would be somebody who gets at the gym at 5 a.m. Like, I need that person. So when you think about what your weaknesses are, if you were to plot out your 3 to 5 weaknesses, and people who have the best framework or proven platform to iron those out, that would be step 1, 2, and 3. Who's gonna watch your 6, as they say in the military?
I love that. It means your 6 is your back. Is that like 6 o'clock?
Yep.
100%. See, I deduced that. Look at that. Look at that. Did I tell you one of my talents is excellence? No, to get it. Okay, who's gonna watch your 6? No, I love that. So when we talk about partnering and building these tables, whether you would, especially if you are employed and you want to partner with somebody outside, but you're looking at what strengths they have versus what strengths you have, what weaknesses they have versus what weaknesses that you have. So when you look for that and partnering with individuals and giving people opportunity, you're strictly looking at they have to be the yin to your yang.
I would say that's even coaching is probably, I call it a 10 by 10 by 10 rule. And what that means is, have they been doing it for 10 years? Have you helped at least 10 people make $1 million? And do you have a track record of at least 10 different frameworks to choose from? Have you doing it for 10 years? Have you helped 10 people make a million or even six figures? And do you have a framework of 10 products or frameworks that I can pull from? And so when I'm looking at people, it's no different than picking a Google restaurant. You go to their reviews. You look at something on Amazon, I'm looking at their reviews. So when I'm looking at talent, skill set, people to balance out, I'm looking for their reviews. And what jumps out when I look at their resume, their LinkedIn, their track record, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 5 stars for a decade, 5 stars of at least, 10 people screaming like, hey, this person's framework helped me make six figures. And I work with a young six figures if I know I can see they got the marketing or the branding potential to make it to, to seven figures. That's what I look for. And if I can like, hey, is this person going to make me $1 million in the next 10 years? Yes or no? Coach, teammate, or mentee, mentor.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. Is this person going to help me make $1 million, or can I make this person $1 million? Yes or no? That's really that's my easy answer.
It's an easy and hardcore answer, because I see where you just get right to it and break it down to be simple. I like to hear what's being said and inside of what's being said.
Right.
And so I want to parse out what you just even said. You're 10 by 10 by 10, what you're looking for. What we need to pick up that you just put down, and what a lot of us do miss, right? When you're looking for an opportunity to use your talent or build tables, there's always someone looking at how you deliver and what you do. So it's more than just about talent, right? A framework. Are you just doing something to say I'm talented, or are you producing something that someone can absolutely dissect? Like you just said, 10 years of doing it, 10 individuals that you have positioned, and this 10 at XYZ. So it's not just by saying I can do this, but we have to organize and structure in a way where that puts leverage on our talent to have those conversations, to partner, to build tables, to build equity, ownership, or raise our standard, like Ritchie said, putting that mirror in front of us. We have to put some organization and structure to that, because people are looking at that. Serious people. We're talking about the top 10. You're there, Ritchie. You're serious people. You're not just going to look at. That's why I'd ask you that question. So if somebody just bring you their strength against your weakness, would you take them? You say, they're strong. That may be their talent. But next, I need to see 10 by 10 by 10. And I want us to get that, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us get that. We have a talent, but it's time for us to start producing. We always want to partner or say we want people to support, or we want this or we want that. But the one thing we're missing a lot of times, it's not the financial capital. It's the human capital. And we're missing the human capital because people are dissecting us. Now, Ritchie, do you want to share anything that you have going on? Is there a way that people can connect with you? And I know, and the reason why I really identified you, because I know what you're doing amazing things for these vets. And if you can do that with them, and this is me dissecting you, the 10 by 10, if you can do that with them,
say it,
and yourself,
say it.
Anybody. I'm not serious, because that is the toughest. I don't people realize that, because I'm not just saying it's tough because how the world is positioned. You're dealing with individuals that have been through some tough stuff. So you're dealing with the mindset situation on top of positioning somebody. You're a beast. Yeah. So what do you got going on? And
Thank you so much. So here in the next couple of weeks, everybody watching will be live. I love what I do so much. I decided to teach it on television. So I'll be hosting the Exit Ready show with Ritchie Thomas on the Zandra TV network, streaming on Roku and all your streaming devices. And we'll be teaching this live out loud. Well, the first season was military transition, because I believe everybody in the military needs an exit plan. And also everybody watching and listening may not be in the military, but everybody's got a 9 to 5. And so my 9 to 5ers also need an exit strategy. So what we're going to train y'all to be exit ready. So in the next 2 or 3 seasons, we're literally going to be drawing out people's exit strategy. Think of it as your literally your career plan live on TV. I call it I'm a hip hop Bob Ross, who's going to help you guys map out your next step in your retirement plan. Not so much financial, but just, what's that profession? What's that personal brand that y'all want to be known for outside of your 9 to 5? And the reason I did that, I emptied out my 401k. I'm so excited to share this with the world. I believe in my message so much. Believe in mine so much, I wanted to invest in yours. So I emptied out my 401k to create the digital stage, the real stage, to draw out y'all's blueprint live on TV. So we're going to Bob Ross this thing until I retire. That's my plan. Boom.
Where can they connect with you to make sure they stay in tune for when that live happen? What do you want? What's the best platforms you want people to connect with you at? I know RitchieThomas.com, your website as well. They can go on there, but
that's it. That's all they need. Because I don't own Instagram, y'all. It's RitchieThomas.com. RITCHIE Thomas.com. I need a good jingle though. Y'all can help me come up with a jingle.
Well, we have singers on here. We got a singer on here.
I need a dope jingle, because like a good neighbor. Boom, 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 boom.
Listen, that may be that connection. Hey, we like that. We got to.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Anybody give me a great jingle, I'm dropping $1,000 right now.
Hey, let it rain. Let it rain. Did you hear this?
In the next 99 days, y'all, anybody give me a jingle, RitchieThomas.com, MilitaryTransitionUniversity.com. I'm dropping $1,000.
And this is how connections work. See, it ain't just about live. It's about how can things happen and you elevate. Listen, create that amazing jingle for RitchieThomas.com.
Yeah.
That's it. The Soldier's Coach.
Yeah. So like for anybody listening to, like my real brand is Military Transition University. So I was going to be like, hit him with that Tony. Tomorrow will come and girl, I can't wait. It's my anniversary. So I was going to hit him with the Transition University. But I don't know if they'll sue me if I just
don't worry, I'll make sure. And whoever's listening, make sure you deal with me. But I'm saying let it rain. You deal with me. We'll make sure there's going to be no type of copyright infringement or anything like that. And it actually will be unique, but it'll be familiar, but it'll be great. Listen, one stack. Making that jingle. This is where it's about opportunity, talent. Build your table. You have opportunity, and then it'd be a jingle for something where amazing people are coming to listen. And
y'all think I'm joking, but I'm dead serious. By the way, just let me.
Oh no, I didn't think you were joking. So I don't know if anybody on there think you joking. Y'all ha laugh, he go away. But let it rain, we ain't laughing. So we got this. We're gonna get this jingle and get that connection. So yeah, RitchieThomas.com. Please attend the live. Like I said, the exiting. I wish there was a question. I believe 2 segments ago, someone was on there asking the guest then, how do you transition? How do you exit out of this 9 to 5? Someone asked. So I'm going to make sure I send this to them, who's an amazing artist themselves. So I thank you so much. The books you wrote, you have written several books. Which you have written apply to non-veterans too? Those are principles that can apply to anybody? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to allow you to say whatever it is that you need to say, and then tell them what the books are.
Yeah, absolutely. No, again, thank you so much. My first book was The Mediocre Miracle. It's available on all platforms. Made it sure to be available on everybody's table, The Mediocre Miracle. But here in the next 90 days, we'll be dropping 3 more. It's your final marching orders for military vets, your 6-figure soldier, and basic business training. So a 3-set bundle here in the next 90 days. I'm super excited about that. But The Mediocre Miracle is available for most folks. Again, not just military, but corporate as well. Life plan book a life plan book, if you will.
All right. I love it. I thank you so much for your time again. And I know people are going to get so much out of your being on television and actually going live with that. And I thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you do. I love your message. I love the way you stand in your purpose. Again, a model for so many uh, on both sides. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll be in touch. All right, everyone. That is a wrap for today. And you know what I always say, anytime that I am wrapping up, the more you know, the more you grow, the more you learn, the more you earn. But when you share, you absolutely show care. So make sure that you definitely share this segment. Make sure you share it. Make sure you all connect with Ritchie. Like I said, I know I have the eye. That's one of my talents too. I have the wherewithal to know if this person's doing this, I know what's in this lane, but what I see that you're doing, it can help so many other people. Please connect with Ritchie. Tune into that live to see that career transitioning situation and get some nuggets. I think you're going to get a lot more. You will get a lot more from Ritchie on his platform. So please plug in, tap into him. Light of Rain. Uh, we gonna get that jingo. We gonna get that one stack for you. That's an opportunity right there. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Please share this segment with other people, tag friends, and let's continue to elevate together. Peace and progress.